Good evening and welcome to this video. The purpose of this video is to show you my workflow working with thematic analysis and some tools I have used to be able to code some material and export these codes to some formats that you can use for easier access and so on. So the problem kind of started when I realized I wanted to annotate some PDF files, and it was kind of difficult to find even a software that did that. I was thinking of doing something similar to like words, comments, or I think Google Docs has a good comment function as well. So I wanted something similar to that, to be able to code particular keywords and then also be able to make comments on those keywords. But I couldn't find very much, and when you're doing qualitative research, there are some programs available that you can use for this type of research, like thematic analysis, and some of those are commercial, and some of those are open source. And I have not looked into the commercial ones, and they probably have a solution for this. But what I noticed in the open source programs, they were kind of strict on how to code things and the formats you got and so on. Kind of rigid in a way. Although some of them were quite good. Had some issues with converting PDFs as well. Annotating just text was okay, but then when it was PDF format, it had some issues with working with PDF files. I couldn't import the PDF files. So my solution in the end was that I found a program called PDF Annotations, and it's available in Node.js. So it's a Node.js program. And in addition to that, I also used a script to convert some of the output from PDF Annotations to a format that I wanted. And I wanted just a simple CSV format. But we will look more into that further on in this video. So let's have a look at what I'm trying to achieve here. I should also mention that the PDF program that I used is called Okular, and that was the only one that was able to do annotations, I think, in a kind of flexible way. I also recently found that you can do inline notes. So these, instead of pop-up notes like this, which kind of obscures the text, you can have inline comments instead. Let's see now. They're kind of more hidden, I guess. But anyway, so what we're trying to achieve here is when you have multiple files for that you want to extract codes from. It could be some kind of source material, perhaps PDF files, or it can be, in my case, it was primary studies. But in other cases, it can be any kind of source material that you have in PDF format. So basically what you want to do is be able to code this material, and maybe you have a code book where you've decided certain keywords will be the codes. You have developed this somehow, and now you just want to code your material. Okay, so here we can do that by using the highlighter function and using and just marking this keyword. Let's call it website development. So now we have a code. What we also might want to do is to add a note to this code. So we're just going to put it there, and we'll say website development note. Maybe we write something about this. Okay, so this is now achieved. We have our keyword and we have our note. And let's get something else just so we have a few of them. Another keyword, and we can add another note here. Yes, like so. All right, so what you do next is that you need to save this. So you will save this, and be aware that when you have saved this, it will stay like this. So these notes will be part of this PDF file now. Okay, the next step is to use this PDF annotations in order to export our codes. And I chose, ultimately, the format I wanted was a CSV format. Like in my case, I have compiled or gathered all the codes into this kind of master CSV file. So here I have all my extracted codes. And as you can see, it's kind of basic, but it works quite well when you're going to write your paper ultimately, because then you can just use this paper instead of looking at particular papers. But you obviously need to continue to work with this and compile this like in another document or something where you might continue to develop these themes. But this is like just the extracted codes and where they're located. So by having this and having a second document where you kind of develop your themes in the second document, you can from that document then write your paper and refer to or look up what you found, so to speak. But you need to be rigorous and code everything, which can be kind of tough in the beginning when you realize there's a lot of coding to do. But when you kind of get through it, it's a nice process that everything will get coded in a nice way. Okay, so this was the compiled version, but now let's look at how we can do this with PDF annotations. So we had our Okular PDF file. We have made some annotations or some codes, and we saved it, and now we want to export our codes. So what we can do, we can just have a simple look at PDF annotations, and we can have just a simple look at this in a text format, what we get. So let's call this RR Annotations. And now PDF Annotations has exported this, and as you can see, we have it in text format. So this is how you can use PDF annotations and just compile this to a text file, and that might work for you. You might be done already. You don't need to do anything more, but using a text file, things are not so organized. If you want to use some columns or things like that, that's not available. So my solution, or the possibility in PDF annotations, was to use JSON instead. So we can use PDF annotations and get a JSON file instead. Okay, so here we have exported the codes in JSON instead. And you can parse the JSON easier using some sort of JSON parser. I used a simple script for this where I will parse the JSON and create a CSV file instead, and then I will just place the parsed JSON in the CSV file by columns, and I've chosen a few columns like page type and content, and there's some formatting of this, and I will provide a link for this simple script, so if you need it you can have it. And here you can do this to multiple files. Here you should probably write some kind of for loop to get all the files, but this is what I used. And then I just put in the input file, which is the JSON file, and the output file, which is a CSV file, and call this function. So let's run this script using Python, and now it has converted all the annotations to CSV. Now we can look at the CSV annotations, what happened. It looks like this now, and you can see what page the annotation is on, and the type, and the content. In my case, I needed to compile it a little bit, but I put like paper 1 here, and then I would get maybe the next and so on, gather everything from these individual files. But what you can see is here where you have type, it's a highlight and it's website development, but this could be instead could be code or keyword, and this would be a note, and this would be a code, and this would be a note. And by doing this you kind of get your material coded, and you know that if you coded a keyword here like so, you will then have the next entry will be the note you provided. And usually the notes are something that you have for your own sake to kind of remember what this keyword was about, and you may want to provide some information about it, but usually it's the codes that are interesting. And getting back to what I said earlier, that this is the simple workflow, so it's pretty much done. I would gather more annotations like so I have had all of these. If we wanted to continue to develop this method, we probably wanted to automate this more and be able to extract all our codes, and perhaps use some sort of editor or something where we can put together codes to themes, to maybe higher order themes or something like that, and then continuing to maybe a model or a theory or something like that. But somehow we want to maybe have a couple of themes. We've extracted a few code words which will become a theme, like theme, and we have under it a couple of codes and theme, maybe theme 1 code, some code word here as well, and then we have a couple of these themes. And maybe we want to have some sort of relation between these themes. So this part is not developed. Maybe the established software have this already, but if you're just looking for a simple way to export some annotations and work a little bit with this in a simple format, as you saw, you also had JSON, so from JSON you can get the output any way you want it, pretty much. So I think PDF Annotations, it's a very good program for this purpose, and working with these qualitative research methods like thematic analysis, the computer can be a great help in that pursuit, to organize things, and you kind of, like, the ultimate goal is to create a text, right? So you need ways to compile your data and restructure it, and then be able to write, given that you have these facts or conclusions or this analysis done. So kind of you can do a analysis, and then you need to do some kind of synthesis, probably. And the synthesis part is this part, pretty much, or this is like a combined analysis and synthesis step, pretty much, or process. And you can work with this workflow and suit it to your needs. This might be more flexible than working with an established program if it's too strict for your method that you're using. So yes, that's all for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to be able to do some videos covering some research methods and such, which can be helpful in thinking and improving our research methods in general. So yes. So just a quick note, this presentation and the image created is based on, in part, some ideas and theory which can be found in this article written by Cruzes and Dybå, which is called Recommended Steps for Thematic and Synthesis in Software Engineering. So I just wanted to mention that some of these things are probably kind of general information or general knowledge, but some parts of it has been influenced, and some part have been kind of extrapolated from this knowledge that you can find in this article.